Hi, welcome to another episode of The Meeting Doctor. My name's Mike Goldman. Today, I want to focus on how do you maintain neutrality? In organizations, many of us have roles where we receive mandates, where we have subject matter expertise, where we have to train other people, and then we have to ask them for their input. We have to consult with them. We have to essentially facilitate them to actually come up with ideas. So whenever we walk into any conversation, it's almost impossible for any of us to be 100% neutral. So how do we come across neutral? Well, my end is forget about being 100% neutral, but think about creating perceived neutrality. In the sense that even though inside your head you may be thinking ideas, you may be critiquing what people say, but as far as they're concerned, you're coming across looking neutral. So how do you do that? Well, one of the ways to come across neutral is to make sure that you paraphrase back what people say, that you're actively listening, you're using eye contact, you're shaking your head and using encouragers when people speak, and that what you write down on a flip chart is in fact what those people are saying. And if not, you're checking in with them and revalidating what they're saying and changing whatever words you wrote up on the flip chart to match the words that they need. Another way is that instead of telling people what they need to know, you ask them questions. So if you need to advise them on a specific piece, a process, or area of content, instead of telling them, you ask them, what's your knowledge? What do you know about this? So you get them to shift their thinking to the areas of intelligence that you want to leverage in the conversation. Another thing to do is that when people may ask you questions because they know you're a subject matter expert, you reflect those questions right back to them so they always answer. This will also give you time to maybe throw out a suggestion that may be helpful to them, and they may want you to record it on the flip chart. If you do throw out any suggestions though, make sure you check in with them first by asking, what do you think, before you actually write it down. So again, it makes sure that anything that's written on the flip chart is in fact their ideas. If you're noticing that the group is thinking too narrowly, again, you can throw out suggestions in order to get them to expand their thinking. But again, always end with, what do you think, to make sure that what gets up on the flip chart is their ideas. And finally, if in fact you have to tell the group, you need to upgrade or enhance their knowledge before you move into a conversation, make sure you let them know that you're going to be playing two roles. The first role is going to be that of the subject matter expert or trainer, and the second role will be a neutral facilitator. When you're playing the role of the subject matter expert, make sure they know that that's the hat you're playing. And then when you switch to the facilitator, make sure you take off your subject matter expert hat, like literally physically show them this, and then say, I'm now putting on my facilitator hat, and begin then to ask questions. Understanding these tips and utilizing them will help create perceived neutrality during your discussions. Thanks for watching this episode of The Meeting Doctor. And don't forget to subscribe to The Meeting Doctor, your go-to resource for tips and techniques on how to run more healthier meetings.